Well, hello guys, and glad to have you on board again. Today, this is kind of an odd type of video. This is not the usual type of things that I do in this channel, but I think this could still be helpful for the community. So, of course, not financial advice, but I'd rather like to state a few things, important things though, regarding the recent action pump on AI-related tokens. I've seen so many people calling this a bubble or whatever is going to crash back down to earth and stuff like that. Though, first of all, I would like to say I disagree. There are plenty of bubbles out there. I mean, Canto and stuff like that just takes a few minutes looking at the token supply to see that, well, whenever a seller shows up, it's just not going to sustain. So be aware, guys, once again, look at the supply first, okay? Looking at the token price and seeing it pump certainly doesn't make it a good token. Okay, that aside, well, it's totally false to say that AI-related tokens, particularly the good ones, like Fetch AI is a pretty good token actually, has been pumping like crazy. And yes, that's the sign of over-speculation. It's definitely not a sustainable type of rally, though you still need to frame that one. As always, even though things could turn out to be very violent on one specific time frame, doesn't necessarily is as odd in a higher time frame. So try to figure out in which timescales things are playing. So as you can see on the daily, we've been breaking a consistently going down kind of trend channel or context channel. So in that sense, well, I would say this is a typical bottom formation structure, very low volatility. This is the typical crashing structure. So this is not the end of the world, just as we've been building a crashing bottom structure in here, just like many other low cap coins have been doing. Well, now we've got the strong recovery, which is a good sign to me. Instead of just saying, well, this is yet another bubble, this thing's going to zero, I entirely disagree for many reasons, and I will argue about that. Though, first of all, AI has always been in the list of things that are so disruptive fundamentally that these things will inevitably have these kinds of breakthrough effects. It's always been the case, and there are so many ways in which AI can change the world in the future. But as always, don't be dumb enough to fall for the narrative at the given time. So the thing is that, of course, buying now feels pretty unsustainable and stupid. Though we need to frame that first. Like we stated, on the daily chart gets pretty overextended. The bearish context being broken like that means, well, we might at least want to wait until the next context boxes terminate, which should be by the end of this month. Though early March, we would be having a new context, which is going to reverse this bearish context in here, which is a good sign. This is pretty positive. Remember that anyhow and anyway, you can never ever consider buying a token above that 50% line. Okay, and of course you don't sell it beyond. So that's really the way it is. Okay, we're gonna have to wait until this context is reversed first, which is definitely at least probably going to be the case. And if it is the case, then this 50% line is probably going to shift up. I can definitely tell you that it's going to be somewhere around 25. Of course, the higher we go, the higher this one will go as well. But call it 25 and the like. So 25 is going to be my buying point. It's corresponding to previous market bottoms that have been broken. So I think going back there, figuring out some support would make sense. But more than anything else, okay, just have a look at the timeframes in which the context is rational enough. Okay, here is definitely the case. You can see, even though it's been violent up or down, you can see that the context boxes are starting to figure out the value for this asset. So that's pretty great. So first things first in here, you don't even think about buying this above 35 cents. And this big boy isn't going to change until the end of March, because this one is updated on a quarterly basis. So I would say bare minimum now is 25 cents on March, at the early stages of March at least. But beyond March, like April and later, it's probably going to be at least 35 as a bare minimum as well. All right, second thing that you need to be thinking about this stuff, though it's really looking pretty dumb. It's okay, it's going up, down, whatever. Supports have been broken after resistances have been broken. So it definitely looks like this type of market is in a dumb area. Okay, so put your usual dumb Fibonacci's. Don't try to overthink things. Surely AI is an important topic, but there's nothing that should force you to buy or sell. So in my humble opinion, a good buy price, yeah, 28 cents would be a good thing, and we'd rather like to stay there a bit in the dumb zone, pull back, and that would be a good buy to target 90 cents and above. So why do I say that? Well, first of all, we always do a technical analysis. You just don't buy because everyone's buying or for whatever reason. You rather like to just stay the hell away. Even though you've missed the train, well, just don't try to put yourself in front of the rails, okay? So that's number one thing. Second thing that I wanted to unpack is this thing just an overblown bubble, over speculation? AI is certainly going to revolutionize anything. This is just the same old stupid stuff. Yeah, but when you're in disruptive technologies, the thing is that it's always going to be stupid and dangerous before the revolution actually occurs. So it is the pattern that we've seen playing in different timescales in the whole crypto theory. So the thing is, AI is a definitely disruptive technology. It's not yet another dream catcher stuff or whatever. It definitely is going to change a lot of things. It's not necessarily going to be immediately. So we would like to ask ourselves the question, is it going to be any use case of the blockchain for these AI technologies? Well, to me, the answer is a motherfucking big yes. And why is that? Well, simply because all of these proprietary private AI tech sector is definitely going to be a massive cash pile. But the thing is, public available AI system is definitely going to be a thing as well. For you and I, the public, will very much likely will be willing to use these AI technology, but there will be full of shit stuff, like in between the things that will be called AI without being such a thing, and all of these other stuff. Well, I think having an AI blockchain will make sense. Though Fetch AI isn't an AI blockchain, it's kind of a regulatory framework blockchain source for these things, to kind of having a proof that AI execution has been done and not just some full of shit copied image. It just came out of the internet. It's really, really important to have proof of execution on some AI stuff. I think it's definitely a lot of value being hidden in there. And second thing, of course, having the value exchange in between the AI creator and developer and deployer, and of course the AI users. Having a public blockchain making the relationships between the end user, the customer, and the original builder, the developers and the like, definitely makes a lot of sense to me. So there will definitely be a big market share for open source AI or semi-private AI, but the thing is, of course, having proof of execution is going to be a very important type of middleware, and you have to understand that. So is there going to be a thing with AI-driven type of blockchain technology? Yes, there will be a market share for this, okay? So don't be stupid enough to listen to the same old perma-bears who say, well, AI is a bubble, these things going to zero. No, these things are not going to zero at all. But the thing is that you just can't buy the narrative now. You always have you always need to have a strategy, okay? So if you've missed the current rally, well, don't try to take it right now. It feels pretty late to be at the party now. Second thing, always try to have a rational analysis of what's going on. Is it true speculative bubble, full of shit, absolutely no underlying value? Things like Canto and the like are absolutely useless. They make nothing new, and their token supply is an absolute disaster. But the thing is, well, Fetch AI has a good token supply. It's just that, well, if you have a look at the private money being raised, well, you have the token prices. They've been buying at 3 to 7 cents, okay? So this is the average insider prices on private sales. You can see that the leveraged amounts are not crazy. So I definitely think it's kind of a good token. But the thing is, it's getting overextended. In such short a period of time, these guys have made a 10x in just a matter of a few weeks. So understand it that way. If you have a 10x on an investment, and you probably have had 100 of other investments such as this one, well, you'd rather like to think of it as a layer in and out. With 10x, you can just take 10% profits and you're squared on your initial investment, meaning that the remaining 90% is just free of risk. And if you don't understand that so many of those investors will likely do this, they won't sell at all. They will just sell 10%. But the thing is that it's going to be harder and harder for the public sector, all of these smaller retails piling up for the shit, saying, well, I'm going to buy and higher and higher. Though I definitely think there is still some upside potential. I mean, this thing has still room to grow. As we've seen, we can go right up to the third range boundary. But I hardly think we can go anywhere higher than 75 cents. In that sense, well, if we do, that means I don't have the right context. But until then, it feels to me that buying this thing is a very interesting opportunity, but it requires at least a 28, 25 cents somehow of a pullback. So I would definitely just let this thing build its local top, let it be, let it pull back, but put a note in the back of my head somewhere around April or so to just say, well, if we've consolidated, if we have a nice structure holding some of the gains that have been pulled out, that's probably the sign that this thing had initial value. Of course, if this thing cracks right back down to earth and cracks below the 20 cents and below, that will be a red flag to me. But I definitely don't think it's going to be the case. I think there's going to be strong support for those tokens if they ever pull back into the 30 cents area and below. Not to the fact that I will be among the buyers. I definitely intend to put Fetch AI in my portfolio with a 1 to 2% allocation because, of course, that's a speculative call. Though the thing is, of course, this is buy and hold. I'm buying, staking the thing, and letting it behave. Either it goes to zero or it will be a thing someday. The price structure is pretty interesting to me. And most importantly, beyond the price itself, if you invest in a token, okay, always make sure there is value and demand for these tokens. If this is an endless copy of something already existing, like the same old fucking DeFi stuff, Jesus, we've got those things 20 times replicated across every other Ethereum copy chain. So please, God damn it, this is not a value token, okay? Understand it that way. First question to answer if you ever consider buying something, is it worth it? Is there any dollar value beyond or below that thing or not? How is the competition driven? And all of these things. In this AI sector, there is very limited competition actually, and you can clearly see that right here. I've been studying the different projects, and I definitely think Fetch AI is the one I will go to. Most importantly, yet another Cosmos project. So I definitely think this is the most valuable to me. My personal research, as usual, do your own research, but I wanted once again to share the knowledge in here because I think, yeah, keeping it for myself is not worth it. I would like to share it to the open world. So of course, do whatever you want with that. Just don't blindly follow me. I just wanted to share my strategy. Is it full of shit? My answer is a big, big no. Is it worth buying now? Absolute no as well. Is it worth buying a few months from now? Will people stop thinking about it, stop piling like crazy into buying these things? That's gonna be my plan. If this thing keeps on pumping like crazy and goes all-time highs and the like, that means, well, I'm gonna let go with that ride. There will always be pullbacks, okay? So try to be smarter than that. Don't ever chase a token that's gone without you. Also understand that when the recent, when VC investments have made somewhere like 10 to 20x, that's a sign that these guys will likely start to profit take, okay? So disruptive technology, yes. Interesting technology, yes. Does it make use of blockchain technology and will there be underlying value on the blockchains doing it? Answer is a big yes. But the thing is, right now, it's getting a bit overbought. It's getting a bit stupid crazy. But be patient and note down to the future that these things might still be worth it if you get past the short-term hype. Bye, guys.